Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Luke, and I'm studying for the Comptia Pentest Plus exam. And I read somewhere that if I teach the material to someone, then it's going to help me retain it better. So if you're watching this video, then you are a lucky uh, victim, participant, whatever you want to call yourselves. And I'm going to do this all in one unedited take. Well, not the entire, not all the material, but I'm gonna do it in sections. I have this whole thing planned out. I'm gonna do this series of small videos that just teaches like one subject at a time, and well, we'll see how it goes. So the section I'm gonna be doing today is let's see, planning the engagement. I have notes here, so if you see me looking down, that's why. There's no way I'm gonna be able to remember all of this in my head, so it's you're gonna have to deal with seeing the side of my head every once in a while. So let's see. So the part that I'm going to be talking about right now is planning the engagement. So planning the engagement is crucial for a few different reasons. Number one, it keeps you out of trouble, and number two, it makes sure your client knows exactly what's going to happen to them. It lays groundwork for the engagement. It makes sure that everyone's on the same page. Everyone knows what's going to happen, and ideally, make sure that there are no nasty surprises from either the client or the pen tester. So a few things to consider when planning the engagement. You want to consider like all ethical and legal questions. You want to consider, if you're dealing with healthcare, you want to consider HIPAA. You want to make sure that no patient's data or anything gets out, or that you don't see anything you're not supposed to see. Let's see, rules of engagement. Basically, if the client says you can't take down their network, you can't take down their network. So it's their way of kind of saying, here's what you're allowed to do, here's what you're not allowed to do. You're allowed to touch our email servers, but you're not allowed to touch our I don't know, cluster of servers that have something else on them. Let's see, non-disclosure agreement, that should be pretty standard, that should be self-explanatory. They don't want to know, they do not want the pen tester saying what's wrong with their network, so they're going to make you sign an NDA. And if they don't, then you need to tell them that there needs to be an NDA involved. Statement of work outlines tasks and deliverables. You'll say that, or rather, you'll come to the agreement that you're going to be testing, maybe, just for an example, you're going to be testing their endpoints, their email servers, and you're going to test all of that in 4 months, and you're going to provide a report based on what you found. You're going to say, oh yes, I found, this is what I found, here's the vulnerabilities associated with it. We can help you patch that or not. Whatever the customer wants is usually what ends up happening. Let's see. I say usually because sometimes the customer wants weird things after you signed all the paperwork and everything. So you kind of have to just deal with that on the spot. A lot of times, if it's not written down, you don't have to actually do what they want. If they want something unreasonable, which sometimes they do, but for the most part, if it's reasonable, it's in your best interest to help them out. If you have to make a new contract or do a follow-up or something like that, that's fine. I can't see any problem with that, as long as you get everything in writing. That's the big part, is getting everything in writing, because what you want to do is you want to assume the customer is going to sue you. A lot of them won't, some will, but you really want to assume that the worst thing that can happen is going to happen, and make sure you're prepared for that. Let's see. I got off track there. Where was I? Statement of work. Establish a point of contact in case of emergency. So that is going to be really important, because sometimes during a pen test, you're going to find something that is a critical vulnerability and needs to be addressed right then and there. Let's say, for instance, it is a endpoint protection program that does not require the admin password to be uninstalled. I've seen that, and that can be pretty nasty. It can lead to nasty stuff too. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but I might later. And then, let's see, next is you want to understand the client's risk tolerance. So basically, how comfortable is the client with what you're going to do to their network? Are they comfortable with you just doing maybe open source intelligence, or do they want you to try and actually break in and attempt to compromise something? Do they want you to attempt to shut something down, or do they want to see if you can just theoretically get into a server and view information? Let's see. The last thing is the scope. What is and is not included in the pen test. This is really important. Not necessarily in this context, but that has come up with a customer I was involved with in the past. She had basically, we were working on her servers and her firewalls, and had nothing to do with her endpoints. And she was like the manager. She didn't actually do like the paperwork or anything. That was the owner, but she was under the assumption that we were managing the entirety of her network infrastructure. And when I say the network infrastructure, I mean everything on the network, including endpoints, including access points, and that wasn't the case. So stuff like that is why it's really important to make sure you include the scope in when you're pre-planning the engagement. And yeah, that's pretty much all I had for you guys today. So thank you for listening to me ramble for 5 minutes, and I guess we'll see where it goes from here.